There is a function to our fear. It helps us evaluate our circumstances before making decisions and prompt us to push ourselves. However, anxiety can become overwhelming thanks to its physiological effects on our bodies. It turns on the fight or flight instincts within us, raising blood pressure and blood sugar, and can dampen our thinking process. Fear can control and force you into avenues you wouldn't consider when clear-headed. So how can we make our fear work for us? You need to control your fear and use it as an advisor in life. Knowing what you're up against will help as the first step to defeating it. By sitting down with yourself and examining your fears, you can start to address them one by one. Our fears tend to make themselves known when it comes to what matters to us most. By listing down your goals, you can also determine the concern each desire inspires in you. These fears can be anything involving people, places, and possible scenarios. Think about your fears and how they make you feel, and what you want to do to deal with them. If avoidance is your answer, know that the fear will still be there. Once you know your fears and how they can affect you, you can manage them and get past them. Our fears aren't always rational. When it comes down to it, our brains are susceptible to stimuli around us, and just about anything different or out of the ordinary can trigger an adverse response. While this may not be helpful, it's a normal reaction. You shouldn't blame yourself for being afraid. Instead, you should accept it to start using it to your advantage. The key message you should remember here is that you are not your fears. As such, you cannot let them dictate your life. You can transcend beyond the limitations set by your worries. Think about your life and all that you've accomplished. Indeed, there were events in the past that petrified you, and yet you made it through them. Knowing that you have the strength to work past your fears can help you do it again and again. Our brains run on their own most of the time, processing information and thoughts at lightning speeds. We simply do not have the energy to examine every tidbit that goes through our minds. As such, automatic thoughts can be very damaging, especially ones associated with fear or fear-automatic thoughts. If you can catch and properly analyze these FATs, you can use the message your worries are trying to tell you and work through them. Fears always have a reason behind them, whether they seem rational or not. They could be tied to your past or your worries for the future. By reframing your thoughts, you can turn your fears into strengths. Fears can help to keep us safe. However, keeping us in our comfort zones can gain more influence, convincing you that it has succeeded in keeping bad things at bay. If you keep listening to your fears every time, you will be forced into an even smaller box and not be able to live your life to its fullest. Taking a step out of your comfort zone can be challenging and may even feel impossible. But when you experiment and try new things, you will find yourself slowly defeating your fears. This can be a slow journey, involving increasing your exposure to scary things by tiny increments until you make it out of your bubble. Remember to face such trials with bravery and hopefulness because they will help you throughout your quest. Don't let fear determine what you do anymore.